Sky Sports in the UK and also broadcast throughout the world. It's our first show in Philadelphia. This city has a great reputation for being a great fight city. And finally, on Friday night, Philadelphia, for the first time in 16 years, has its very own world champion defending a world title in Tevin Farmer. As you've just seen from Tevin Farmer, he has just turned up. He was half an hour late, but, you know, he's become a little bit big time now. I remember he would have been half an hour early 4 fights ago, but it's okay. He gets the chance to shine on Friday night, and I think this city should be very, very proud of him. We're expecting a fantastic crowd of not just the public from Philadelphia, but also a huge Irish contingent. Of course, as David said, St. Patrick's Day weekend, and we have a great amount of Irish fighters on the card. Of course, Joe Nevin and the great Katie Taylor trying to unify the lightweight division one more time against Rose Volante, and of course Dublin's Jono Carroll trying to become world champion by beating Philadelphia's Jono Carroll. There's so much to Tevin Farmer. There's so much to talk about on this card, and we're delighted that this city has welcomed us here. And one man that's helped us bring this show here, and I want him to come up and say a few words now. A big round of applause, please, for Russell Peltz.
As I said a few weeks ago, I've been around long enough that I did business with Eddie Hearn's father. But I'm here really to talk about a couple of the fights on the card, one in particular that has made Philly the great fight town it's always been, and that's a fight that would be a main event in almost any building in this city, and that's the 10-round lightweight fight between the grizzled 35-year-old veteran Hank Lundy and the brash young kid 25-year-old Avery Sparrow of North Philly. It's the kind of fight that made Philly a great fight town, and it's one of the most talked about fights on this card, and I'm really looking forward to it as just one part of the card. And of course, there is the epitome of the Philly fighter on this card, Gabriel Rosado. As I've said before many times, there are fighters from Philly, and then there are Philly fighters. And not only Gabe, but Hank Lundy and Avery Sparrow, the three of them, never turned down a fight. So it should be an exciting night for everyone. I'm in love with Jono Carroll's beard. And Tevin Farmer, it's nice to see you. It should be a great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. Before we go to those, some of those championship fights that you discussed, some very other important fighters on the card who are either starting their pro journeys or about to challenge for world titles. We're delighted to particularly have three, I didn't even know this, I just come to me, 3 Olympic gold medalists on this card. One in Luke Campbell from Great Britain, one from Katie Taylor, of course, from Ireland, and one from Daniil Yulusinov as well, from Kazakhstan, one of the best young prospects in the sport of boxing. We're going to start being St. Patrick's Day weekend with someone that didn't quite win the Olympic gold, but was very, very close. Sold a huge amount of tickets on Friday, and thank you to Tom Moran and Ron Bodie as well, and the team. You're going to have massive support helping this Irish noise be nice and loud on Friday night. I'd like to welcome up to say a few words, Joe Nevin.
How you doing? I'd like to thank Matchroom Promotion, Eddie, for having me on this card. It's going to be a great show. The likes of my old teammates, Katie Taylor beside me, Jono Carroll that I've grown up beside, like training alongside. It's going to be a great night of boxing. I've a big Irish following here, so hopefully I can put on a good show for my second home. Thank you.
Thanks, Jono. I'm going to welcome up now a man who his English is getting better and better. This young man is a fantastic talent. As I said, won the gold in Rio, one of the top 147-pound fighters out there right now. You're going to love watching him in Philly on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, from Kazakhstan, Daniil Yulusinov.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be in Philadelphia. Philly is a home of boxing. A lot of greatest boxers came from Philadelphia. Beautiful city, with great history. Hope you will enjoy Friday night show. Thank you.
Better every time, Daniel. Well done, well done. I'm going to now go to another Olympic gold medalist. We really are spoiled on this card. A fantastic young lightweight fighter who I felt beat Jorge Linares for the WBC lightweight title. Now came back and avenged a loss to Yvonne Mendy in a final eliminator to become the #1 challenger with the WBC, and awaits the Spence Garcia fight on Saturday, because he will be ordered to fight Mikey Garcia straight after that fight if he chooses to return to lightweight. One thing's for sure, Luke Campbell will be fighting for the WBC title this summer, and on Thursday night he returns to the ring against Adrian Young from Mexico to try and prepare for a very, very important moment in his career. Ladies and gentlemen, the former Olympic gold medalist from Britain, Luke Campbell.
Hey everybody, great to be here. Thank you to Eddie and Matchroom Boxing for putting me on the show. Very excited to be fighting in America again. It's my 3rd time out of my career, and fighting in Philly, city I've always wanted to go to, and we're on a great card. It's also good to be on the same card as Joe Nevin. It's been a while since me and him shared a bill. So yeah, it's all good. This fight is going to start me off on a great win for the year, and it's going to put me in good stead for what comes next. I'm excited. Thank you.
We have been taking young fighters to World Championships and to Unified World Championships for a number of years now. Luke Campbell is someone that we've represented since his professional debut. Daniel Yelusinov as well, Anthony Joshua, Callum Smith, Cal Yafai, all now world champions and unified champions and Ring Magazine champions. And we're trying to replicate that model in the US. And the way that you do it, for me, is to move fighters at the right pace, to keep them nice and active. I think in the US there's a major problem that too many fighters are too inactive, fighting once, twice, 3 times a year in the early stages in their career. For fighters like Raymond Ford, who I'll bring up here shortly, I believe they should be fighting 7, 8 times a year, 19 years of age. And I feel like if you look at our young stable of fighters right now in America, it is, in my opinion, far superior to any other promotional company in the US right now. I think we have an unbelievable crop of fighters. You saw Nikita Ababi go 3-0 at the weekend. Otha Jones 3 made his pro debut, again just 19 years of age. Diego Pacheco from LA, he's just turned 18. Alexis Espino as well. Amo Williams just turned pro with us as well. And I think this young man is going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal fighter. He comes from outstanding stock. And I'm so excited to get the opportunity to work with these young fighters and try and take them all the way to their dreams, to that world championship. And you know, in a crazy sport that we work in and live in at the moment, the excitement you get from being involved with a young fighter, trying to help them plot their way to greatness, for me, is more rewarding than anything in the world. So for a big round of applause. He's spoken before at the first press conference, but just a couple of days away from his pro debut. I did say from Philly previously, but now we're a couple of days away. I can tell everyone the truth. From Camden, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, Raymond Ford.
How y'all doing? I'm ready to fight. That's all I really have to say, and I'm thankful for Eddie Hearn for putting me on the show so close to home, and I'm just ready to perform, and I hope y'all enjoy the show. Thank you.
As Russell said earlier, fights like this are so important to not just the card, but to the city, also to provide value for money for fight fans. And I think Avery Sparrow against Hank Lundy is a great crossroads fight. Hank Lundy's been in some big, big fights in the lightweight division. Avery Sparrow is a top prospect coming through, trying to make his mark on the division. I don't know who I should call up first. So Hank, you spoke really well last time. You look a lot thinner than the first press conference, to be fair. But I think you got just a little bit more to say than Avery. So I'll let you speak second, if that's all right. Avery, if you come up now, say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Avery Sparrow.
Just want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm blessed for this opportunity. Eddie Hearn, Russell Coates, Matchroom Boxing, give me this opportunity. We had a good camp. It was long. We prepared good. We had good work. Solid sparring. We're ready. Hank Lundy, he's a veteran. He's over there, his head down. He looks a little hungry. You know, he's spent. But come March 15th, you're going to see what all this hype is about, and a great show and a great performance from Avery Sparrow. I hope Hank Lundy is training his ass off, because he talks a whole lot, so I hope his talk matches his work ethic. Because if not, he's going to be in for a long night. I don't know what he's expecting. I don't know what he was thinking about when he took the fight, taking the fight against a young, hungry prospect like me, after he's seeing what I've been doing in the year that I had previously. But he got the balls. He's going to come show up, and just like he always talks and he always shows up, he always gets iced. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ice this shit out you on March 15th. Because you old and you washed up and you in the way. Thank you.
So, apparently he's old, he's washed up, he's struggling at the weight. His turn to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, Hank Lundy.
Oh, man. I like to thank Matchroom Boxing, Eddie, Russell, CES Promotion, every team, We're going to keep this calm, cool, and collected, because I already know what's about to happen, you know what I mean? We're going to put the young punk in his place, you know what I mean? And that's facts, you know what I mean? You ain't fought nobody, and we're going to keep it like that. But, everybody, I want y'all to come out there, enjoy the fight, be there. This fight starts 6 o'clock. It's not going to whole 10, and that's facts. At the end of the day, it's on, man. Y'all already know what Hammer do, man. He say 35, I'm 25, man. And I'm going to tell him like this. It's fight time. We all good. I make money, baby. I got my own business, baby. I make money. Yeah, I make money. Okay. Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, we can put him out. You know what I mean? He got to go to sleep. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, any kids in here, make sure you stay off the streets, don't pop no pills, and don't do no drugs, because you end up like this crackhead right here. You know what I mean? That's facts.
Sorry, go on, Hank, there you go.
And I'd like to give a big shout out to my man Corey Springs for coming down, you know what I mean, for coming to the fight, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Just to show how good is this card that fight is on at 6 o'clock, right? So whatever you do, to be honest, don't even bother going to work on Friday. Just call in sick. Start drinking from like midday or something like that. Just come down and make sure you're in this venue nice and early. Right, where are we? I've lost my train of thought. Okay, right. Okay, now this, people talk about Lundy Sparrow potentially stealing the show and being in fight of the night. This fight right here, for me, could well be fight of the night. This is a fantastic fight that is so important to the middleweight division right now. Maciej Sulecki against Gabriel Rosado for the WBO International Middleweight title. As I've said before to the media this week, basically the winner of this fight is going to fight Demetrius Andrade for the WBO World title. So if you weren't motivated enough, now you need to be motivated, because right now the money in the sport of boxing is sitting right there in the division. You've got Demetrius Andrade, you've got Gennady Golovkin, you've got Danny Jacobs, you've got Canelo. They're all on the DAZN platform, and the winner of this fight, in my opinion, will go on and challenge for the World Championship in June. Two great guys, two great fighters. We've seen Gabe, as Russell said, in so many great fights over the year. He really is an ambassador for boxing here in Philadelphia. And Sulecki, a great fighter, great wins over Santino Jr., a great fight with Danny Jacobs in New York as well, and coming back from a solid win, ready to try and mount his challenge to challenge and fight for the world middleweight title. Firstly, I'd like a big welcome from Poland to Maciej Sulecki. But before you come up, I'd just like to introduce your promoter, our co-promoter, someone who we've worked with for a number of years, a great man from the fight game, and I'd like to acknowledge Zach Margulis as well. Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce Maciej Sulecki, Leon Margulis.
Thank you, Eddie. Hello, everybody. Oh, you first, okay. It's great to be back in Philadelphia. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's also great to work with Eddie Hearn and his wonderful staff. Matchroom's truly proven themselves to be one of the top, if not the top promoter in the world, and we've been blessed to do a fair amount of business with them, including our collaboration now with Maciej Sulecki. As a fight fan and as a long-term professional in the sport, I totally respect Gabriel Rosado. I've seen him in all his wars. I don't ever think I saw him in a fight that I didn't enjoy, because he brings a lot of action to the fight game. With Maciej Sulecki, you have a world-class middleweight who's knocking on the door and whose time, I believe, is here. So we're thrilled to be here. We're thrilled that Rosado stepped to the challenge. I'd like to introduce middleweight contender Maciej Sulecki.
Hello, everybody. I always must be first, and you know. Thank you very much, Eddie and Bachelor Boxing, Davon, that you give me chance, and I promise that I not let you down again. I was great training camp with my new coach, Piotr Wiczewski. Thank you, coach, very much. I had great 10 weeks hard work, and I'm ready. I'm ready on everything what he showed me in the ring, and I hope that you will be ready on what I show you in the ring. I'm ready on big war, I'm ready on crazy fight, and I can't wait.
If you notice with my press conferences, there's no real structure. Like, there's no notes or anything, it's just complete madness. So we're going to carry on now with, after that fight, and we're going to talk about the women's unification fight. Before we do, obviously, a very special person to call up to the stage. Like I said, Gabriel Rosado has been involved in some wonderful, wonderful fights. A great ambassador for the sport of boxing in Philadelphia, and I believe, speaking to him last night at the basketball game, in the shape of his life, in the mental shape of his life as well, to take this opportunity and go on and challenge for the world middleweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Gabriel Rosado.
First and foremost, I want to thank God for this great opportunity. Russell Peltz, Michelle Rosado, my team, Eddie Hearns, thank you for the opportunity. We had a great training camp. You know, I think you guys are going to see the best of Gabriel Rosado come Friday. We have a good momentum going on. You know, we just fought in November, so we got that momentum coming from that first training camp. And it's just good to stay active, you know. I know what this man brings to the table, but it's nothing I haven't seen. You know, I fought the best. I think the experience is all going to kick in. And thing is, this fight's in Philadelphia, man, so I'm going to turn up extra hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit down on my shots. My goal is to knock this man out. I don't just want to win on the scorecards. I want to stop him. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war. It's going to be real nasty. I promise you. It will. It will. I promise you. So look, like Eddie said, call off from work. Like, for real. Call in sick. That means get your drink on, enjoy the show, and let's go, Philly.
Thanks, Greg. That is going to be a great fight, WBO international middleweight title. Now we move on to the unification fight. Women's boxing is absolutely flying right now, and the main reason for that, in my opinion, is Katie Taylor. Not only did she force boxing, women's boxing into the Olympics, but she also forced women's boxing in front of the networks, the broadcasters, the sponsors and the fans, and showed them how entertaining women's boxing can be. As I've said, at every press conference I've ever done with Katie Taylor, forget women's boxing, forget men's boxing, it's just boxing, just watch. She is, in my opinion, one of the most entertaining fighters on the planet, and in front of her on Friday night is another world champion, Rose Volante from Brazil, become a huge star in Brazil now. She's 14-0. She's been flawless as a professional. She's extremely strong. She punches very, very hard. By far the toughest test of Katie Taylor's career so far. And I'd like to welcome up to say a few words. I know she has a translator here as well. The current reigning WBO lightweight women's champion, Rose Volante.
Boa tarde a todos. Agradeço a Deus a oportunidade de estar aqui. Sem Ele não somos nada. Mais uma luta na minha carreira e mais uma luta e uma oportunidade de estar aqui na Filadélfia, onde para mim inspirou e inspira muitos atletas. Agradeço a oportunidade de lutar mais uma vez e em busca de um sonho, que é os 3 cinturões, que todo atleta sonha em ser campeão e ter a coroa máxima. E eu vou subir para realizar mais um sonho. Obrigada a todos.
I'd like to take the opportunity to be here in Philadelphia and to accomplish the dream of unificating all the titles on the biggest fight of my career. I want to thank God first, and that's it. And Friday night, we'll see who will be the best lightweight in the female division.
Thank you, Rose. Again, I can't thank this lady enough for what she's done for women's boxing. And when she came to our office a few years ago with Brian Peters, I just met probably the most dedicated, driven individual that I've ever met. Responsible for so much, again, not just in women's boxing, in boxing. Former 5-time amateur world champion, 6-time amateur European champion, Olympic gold medalist in London in 2012, and the reigning WBA and IBF Women's World Lightweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, from Bray in Ireland, Katie Taylor.
Thank you so much, Eddie. I'm at you again for this opportunity. It's great to be here in Philadelphia. You know, there's such a rich history of boxing here in this city, and I'm so excited to fight here at the weekend. I've had a great training camp over these last few months, and I'm just ready to fight at this stage. I'm looking forward to a great challenge on Friday evening against Rose Volante. I'm sure she's ready for the challenge as well, and you're going to again see the best of women's boxing this Friday night, so I can't wait and enjoy the show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Katie. The main event, the IBF Super Featherweight Championship of the World. You know, I was at the basketball last night with Tevin Farmer, and I was thinking that where we come from, in little old Britain, if this guy and this story was told in our country, the place would go nuts for Tevin Farmer. This is the first time in 16 years that a world champion from Philadelphia has defended their title in this city. And this is, as you call yourself, a fight city. So you really need to come out and support this man. His story is incredible. But one thing I will say, I was talking to some media earlier, it's just not just this man's story that's incredible, it's this man's story that's incredible as well. Because it wasn't so long ago that I put Jono Carroll in a card in Dublin against a young fighter called Declan Geraghty. I think you were 2-0 at the time or something like that. He was an opponent. It was a 4-round fight, and quite honestly, you were supposed to lose that night. And you didn't. You won in an absolute, one of the best 4-rounders I've ever seen. He went on, he won prize fighter, he went over, he continued to learn his trade, he teamed up with MTK, he went to Marbella, he moved everything to dedicate his life to the sport. And I know there's a lot of people, and I've even talked about the Gervonta Davis fight after this, but when I saw Jono Carroll yesterday at the training, I see him here today, you cannot underestimate the fire in this young man's belly. The opportunity for Jono Carroll to become world champion on Friday night. Do you have any idea what that means to Jono Carroll and to a young fighter? So this is it. This is your chance to become world champion. You know, not just in London or even in Ireland, but in America, in Philadelphia, in Tevin Farmer's backyard. We know there's been a war of words between the two, and that's great. But ultimately, there's much more than words on the line on Friday night. There's world championships, there's futures, there's legacies, there's everything in the sport of boxing. And this young man, with a lot of support in that arena from the Irish fans on Friday night, is looking to rip that world championship from Tevin Farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger for the IBF Super Featherweight Championship on Friday night from Dublin, Jono Carroll.
Thank you, Eddie. I just want to say a massive thank you to MTK Global, Eddie Hearn, Sky Sports, The Zone, Philadelphia for having me here, and Tevin Farmer giving me the opportunity to fight for this belt. This is something kids only dream of, you know. This is a real rocky story. Basically, I was planning on walking away from boxing only about 2.5 years ago. I was working, I was doing tree surgery, I wasn't getting many fights. I was basically getting like a phone call 2 weeks to go and I just jumped at the opportunity. I was staying ready all the time, but the fights just weren't coming. And my missus ended up being pregnant, and then it was like, right, it was either boxing or get a job. So I actually got a job. I was working there for about 3 months. And I was thinking, do you know what? There's no way I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was getting home. I was getting to the gym then about 4. I wasn't getting home till about 7 o'clock. And I was thinking, if I have a baby, what sort of life is this? I'm never even going to be there when the kid's growing up, you know? I was like, do you know what? No way. So I teamed up to MTK. They got me 3 fights, one after another. I was able to put a bit of money in my pocket and brought the missus out to Marbella. She was 4 months pregnant at the time. And straight away, I just clicked with MTK, you know. Ever since, they've got me on great shows. I've steadily just kept creeping up the ranks. They got me my first European belt. They got me the Intercontinental belt. And then Matchroom came back around and gave me this opportunity, you know. So this is many people helped me to get to this point where I am. But at the same time, I dedicated my life to this sport. From like 15 onwards, I literally gave it everything. And then I broke my hand and I just walked away. You know, I was out of the ring for like 2 years. Then I had 2 fights in Australia, 2 years. That was 4 years and I only had 2 fights. And then I got that amazing opportunity in the 3 ring to fight Declan Gardy. And yeah, I jumped at that as well. I'm one of them fighters where it's like, I like risks, I like testing myself. I like making every day exciting. If every day is not exciting for me, then what's the point in even living, you know what I mean? I try to enjoy every minute. Sometimes it can look arrogant, sometimes it can look cocky and stuff up here. But realistically, that's just me enjoying myself. I'm having fun with it, you know. This whole week, I've just absorbed everything. I've really enjoyed Philadelphia, you know, walking around the city, embracing it, being up at the Rocky Steps this morning. There's a lot of history in this place, you know, and I've took it all in. So I'm not really looking at just a destination. I'm enjoying the whole journey up to this. And I've had an amazing camp. I've had no injuries, thank God. I've had really good sparring. And I think my last fight just gave me a bit of a wake-up call, you know. So we went back to the drawing boards. And I'm a much better fighter this time. I know I can't just roll over people at world level, you know. So I need to think, I need to be smart. Tevin Farmer has defended his title a couple of times now at this stage in quick sessions, so he's going to be sharp. He's a sharp shooter. We know what we're in for. We know we have a mountain to climb, but we're willing to climb that mountain. You know, like Wim Hof, I'm ready to go out in a bleeding pair of boots and shorts, and I'll climb that mountain, no problem. You know, it might be hard, but I think I can do it. You know, I have full faith in myself. I never doubted myself. From the start of my career, I never doubted myself. I'm a very fond believer of law of attraction. I've put it out there. I've said I was going to do this. I said I was going to win the title off an American. And then how amazing would that be going home and topping the bill maybe with Katie Taylor, both of us world champions, you know. Please God, on Friday night we can cheers them belts and have a good one. Thank you, Philly, for having me.
Thank you, Jono. Like I said, 2 great stories, but this young man's story, I think a lot of what Jono said, Tevin can resonate with as well. Never had the opportunity, no one gave him a chance, and now he sits before you in his hometown, ready to defend his world title. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning IBF Super Featherweight Champion of the World from Philadelphia, Tevin Farmer.
First, I want to thank everybody. First, I want to thank God for giving everybody the opportunity to be here today, and myself. I want to apologize for coming late. You know, making weight is never easy, you know, so. But, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Friday night, you know. I'm coming to get it popping. Everybody know these things about me already. I defended my belt. It's like my 3rd defense in like 5 months. I'm really sharp. Shout out to my team, the whole team Farmer. I have a lot of trainers, I ain't gonna name them all, but Shout out to them. We prepared very well, as always. There's been times where we had to step back from training, let my body rest, then step it back up. So I have a hell of a team, man. I also want to give a shout out to Eddie Hearns. I know I'm going off topic, but it is what it is. I want to give a shout out to Eddie Hearns, Luther Bella, The Zone, Matchroom Boxing, also Alex, Dombroff, and Rizzo. Definitely Russell Peltz and RB. You know, they put a lot of work in for the show, and it's a blessing to be here after 16 years making my defense. You know, a lot of fighters wish they had the opportunity to defend their belt here in Philadelphia. A lot of fighters from Philadelphia. For me to be the first one to bring it back in 16 years, it's amazing, man. It's a good feeling, and I get to perform in front of everyone. You know, I've been fighting on the road lately, so everybody wasn't able to. Everybody not fortunate to fly out to Boston or fly out to Australia, or even drive to New York and pay tolls. So I talked to Eddie and Lou, tell them I want to fight in Philly, and you know, they made it happen. So shout out to them for believing in me. And that's it, I'm ready. I know Jono Carroll definitely gonna come ready. He know I'm a skillful fighter. I'm not just skillful, but I also work extremely hard. And he know these things. You know, it's his opportunity to strip me from my belt, something that no one have yet to do. And I just keep coming out victorious. I just want him to come in shape and give me a hell of a fight, because I'm really tired. I'm dead serious. I'm tired of rolling over these guys easy, you know. I won a real fight towards though. I said, man, I gotta take a break for like at least 4 or 5 months, because I keep fighting every 2 months, because I'm coming out healthy and untouched, you know, and it's a blessing, man. I just want to thank everybody for coming out again. Thank you.